Hello guys, I'm here to give you a story on Kweku Eja Ananse. Wow, what a man he is. A man through history who runs the African stories. The man who stories in Africa are being delighted to have. Children all over the world are enjoying his stories. And who is this man? I'll tell you a little bit about Kweku Eja Ananse. Ananse is the main trickster character of an Akan folks. Akans are a group of many clans that live in Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, West Africa. The Asante are the most famous Akan group because of the success of the Asante kingdom and trade with other groups. Variants of Ananse stories can be heard all over West and Central Africa. The slave trade spread those stories to Caribbean, America, and Europe. In Twi, the main Akan language, Ananse simply means spider. That is why most of the time you see Ananse being depicted as a spider. His other name, Kweku, means Wednesday born. Ananse is very clever. He never plots to take over the world, though he's just too lazy for that. He would rather eat. That is Ananse. He is very social when he chooses and very good at persuading people to do things for him. Even though he does not always choose to follow the rules, he knows them all. He also knows more stories, wiser than anyone else can imagine. He's not so good at playing the dondo, a talking drum, but he's fantastic on the sepriwa, a bridge harp. In the folk tales, Ananse is sometimes a spider, sometimes a man, sometimes he's a man with spider abilities, a man who turns into a spider when he's in trouble. Sometimes he's a spider who acts like a man. Some stories say that he was a man who slowly became a spider. Ananse is everybody and nobody. He's good, he's bad, he's foolish, he's wise, he's mean, he's a hero. He can talk to anybody or anything, including people, animals, and spirits. He takes special delight in creating chaos and challenging Nyankopon, the supreme God. Confused? Yeah, I got you. That is the point. One thing to keep in mind, though it does not matter how he is acting or what his form is, Ananse is always a trickster. That is his ultimate trait. Yeah. So take a look at this Ananse story. Enjoy yourself. But before that, like this YouTube channel, subscribe to it to have more of these videos. I'm going to treat you to a milestone of enjoyment, entertainment, but do something for me. Take a look at this subscription, hit on the comment box, and I have a surprise at the end of this video for you. Right, just do it.
Myths are not stories that are untrue. Rather, they are tales that don't fit neatly into the historical record, which serve as a foundation to a culture. Welcome back to the time of the spider, where tricks and trickery brought many things into the human world. One of which was a dangerous thing, an evil thing, something that had long been walled off from mortal kind. For you see, long, long ago, Jealousy lived alone with his bride. He built a whole village, empty and devoid of villagers, so he could live in the center of it and no one would come near his wife. But Ananse was always pushing, always testing the limits of what could be. So when he heard of the beauty of the wife of Jealousy, he went to go see if he could make her his own. With tricks and guile, he lured Jealousy away from his house and swept off with his lonely bride. But with nothing to guard jealously, Jealousy left his solitary village and came into the world. When Jealousy came to the world, he touched the heart of many creatures, not least of which was Ananse. For you see, Ananse was next-door neighbors with Dew. And as the summer came, they both helped each other to plant and cultivate their crops, as they always had done. But as time went on, Ananse saw that the corn that Dew was growing was much larger, richer, and tastier looking than his own. A strange feeling possessed Ananse, something he hadn't felt before. He was jealous of Dew's crop and coveted it for himself. And if he couldn't have it, he would destroy it. So the next day, Ananse casually strutted up to Dew and said, Oh wow, Do, your corn is looking pretty delectable if I do say so myself, and of course I do. But I know a secret to make it even better. If you cut it all down now, and I know this sounds a little kooky, it will grow back tenfold before the season, ends. Wink. So Do, kind and trusting neighbor that he was, decided that night to heed Ananse's advice. He happily destroyed his crop, believing that it would grow back richer, fuller, and more plentiful. But the next day, when the other villagers saw his entire crop had been hewn down in its prime, they asked, "Do, who cut down all your corn? You had such a good crop!" Do told them that he himself had done it, that Ananse had promised it would all grow back bigger and better than before. The neighbors laughed at him and told him that he had been tricked. His corn would not grow again. Do was furious, and right then he swore that he would trick Ananse even worse in revenge. So Do worked tirelessly, saving every penny until he had amassed a small fortune. He went out and bought fancy farming tools, new clothes, and other luxurious goods. Then he brought in his secret weapon, his mother. He explained to her his plan. He would tell Ananse that she had died and build a fake coffin for her funeral. Then he would invite everyone in the village to attend her wake. And once everyone had arrived, Ananse included, Do's mother would sneak under the floor beneath the coffin, along with all of the fine goods he had purchased with his newfound wealth, and then they would launch their surprise. The day of the funeral came, and the game was afoot. Once he saw Ananse, Do began to cry loudly. "My mother has died so suddenly, and left me nothing to remember her by. Not even a single farming tool." On cue, Do's mother put on her best ghost impression and tossed the farming tools out from her hiding place in the floor under the coffin. Ananse grew wide-eyed with jealousy. He didn't have such nice tools. Then Do lamented, "And we never knew the blessings of money or finery when she was alive." Then Do's mother took all of the money he'd saved, along with the fine clothes, and tossed them through the floor right at him. At this sight, Ananse was even more incredulous. Do had gotten the better corn, nice new tools, clothes, and cash. Unbelievable! The funeral ended with nobody suspecting a thing, and the mourners returned to their homes. But jealousy dug into Ananse's soul, and once home, he started to bicker with his own mother about every little thing. It got worse and worse, until one day, Ananse snapped and asked his mother, "Oh, mother, why? Answer me, please. Could you have not just, died like, I don't know, Do's mother did?" The fight escalated and escalated, until in a fit of rage, Ananse struck his mother with a stick, killing her in a single blow. Ananse stood there for a moment, stunned by what he had done. But his thoughts quickly turned to the funeral he had just attended, and all of the fine things that Do's mother had given him. And so, since he'd already murdered his mom, he figured he might as well make the best of it. Ananse prepared a funeral, just like Do had done. And once everyone was gathered, he cried over his mother's coffin and mourned how they had never been able to know wealth while she was alive. Then he waited expectantly. Nothing. He tried again, crying and pounding his chest, lamenting that they had never been able to afford fine clothes or expensive tools during her lifetime. And still nothing. No matter how much he cried and pleaded, no gifts came for Ananse from beyond the grave. It was at this point that the villagers at the funeral started to look at Ananse oddly, so he had no choice but to consider the funeral a failure and move ahead with the burial. The next week, Do decided to pop around to his neighbor Ananse's house with his mother. When Ananse opened the door, he nearly fainted with shock. What is happening here with this? Hadn't she died? She's dead. She's dead. She's dead. Do casually replied that this was his payback for Ananse's trick with his corn. He bragged that his trick had been even better, because while Do had lost his corn, Ananse had lost his one and only mother. And as Do's mother offered her condolences, he himself gave Ananse a parting gift. Corn from the crop he had been tricked into cutting down. And so, jealousy had his revenge. Because jealousy leaves nothing but barren fields and broken homes in its wake. legendary thanks to patrons Ahmed Ziad Turk and Kyle Murgatroyd.
I hope you enjoyed this video of Kwekwe Eja Ananse and Akan folk tales. Sorry. Yes, I'm absolutely buzzing here. I'm having an entertainment at its apex. Believe me, I absolutely enjoyed this video. I hope you too enjoyed it. I'm sure you also loved the video, and I want to know about some maybe 3 or 4 things I would like to know after watching this video. The moral lesson from the video: 1, you can hit on the comment box saying that. 2, do you really love Ananse as a person or a Spider-Man? Yes or no? 3, do you love this video? If yes, you state yes. If no, you state no, and you state your reason too. And then lastly, I have one surprise for you guys. And what is that surprise? I love Eja Kwekwe Ananse. I love his stories. Love you all. Enjoy yourself, but hit on the subscription button and like this video for more of this. I have more coming. Believe me, just hit on the subscription button. Thank you.